US President Donald Trump has accused China of overreacting after Beijing announced an additional 34% tariff on all American goods. Trump escalated the trade standoff between the world's two largest economies. He signed an order extending TikTok deal for 75 more days. Trump said that China played it wrong and that they panicked, which according to him was one thing China couldn't afford to do. President Trump had on Wednesday announced an additional 34% reciprocal tariffs in addition to the existing 20% duties on all Chinese imports. While announcing this, China said the U.S. actions were not in line with international trade rules and that it seriously undermined China's legitimate rights and interests and was a typical unilateral bullying practice. Trump signed an executive order to keep TikTok operational for additional 75 days. He further expressed hope that discussions with China would continue in good faith, acknowledging that China was displeased with U.S. reciprocal tariffs.
So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. I think we're going to have to start thinking. Because, you know, we did go on TikTok and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know.
A global markets meltdown and trade wars, that's been the immediate impact of Trump's reciprocal tariffs announcement. China is one of the first countries to hit back by responding with 34% retaliatory tariffs on U.S. imports. Countries like Canada have also promised a tit-for-tat kind of an approach. Here's how the world is dealing with Trump's big move.
Trade wars have begun. China has hit back at the United States by announcing additional 34% tariffs on all imports from the United States, effective April 10. China's finance ministry also criticized Washington's decision as inconsistent with international trade rules. With the latest reciprocal tariffs imposed by Trump, total U.S. tariffs against China now stand at 54%.
China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset?
And it will come at a cost for America. For years, the U.S. has enjoyed a unique position in the global tech economy, particularly when it comes to Apple products. But with Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs on imports, the days of the affordable iPhone in America may be over. Apple's iPhone, which relies heavily on a Chinese manufacturing pipeline, could become significantly more expensive for U.S. consumers. According to projections by Rosenblatt Securities, reported by Reuters, a top-tier iPhone model could soon retail for as much as $2,300 or nearly 2 lakh rupees, a price tag previously unheard of in the U.S. market. Global markets also continue to be in a state of meltdown. U.S. stock futures and European markets fell sharply on news of Chinese retaliatory tariffs. Bureau Report, India Today.